Hola clase, hoy vamos a hablar sobre la hora, telling time in Spanish. So I'm sure you've all heard the phrase, ¿qué hora es? This is how you ask someone what time it is in Spanish. Sometimes people might say, ¿qué horas son? But for this class, we will focus on ¿qué hora es? How do you answer the question, ¿qué hora es? So when you look at a clock, I have here on the right side what we would have in English. It's 1 o'clock, it's 2 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock. On the left, we have the Spanish equivalent. So if it is 1 o'clock, you would say, es la una. If it is 2 o'clock, you would say, son las dos. 3 o'clock, son las tres. 4 o'clock, son las cuatro. As you can see, you will only use the word es when we are talking about 1 o'clock. So anything between 1 o'clock and 1:59, you will use the word es. Anything after that, you will use the word son. That is because that makes it plural. So anything from 2 o'clock on is considered plural, and you would use son, which is from the verb ser that we already discussed. There's two other phrases that are helpful to know at the bottom of this chart. Es mediodía, es medianoche. It's noon, it's midnight. So if you want to say es mediodía, you would be talking about noon. Es medianoche, you'd be talking about midnight. Pretty simple. But what if it is not on the hour? What if it's 1:10? You would say es la una y 10. So literally, it is 1 o'clock and 10 minutes. If it's 3:15, you would say son las tres y 15. It's 3:15. If it is 8:25, you would say son las ocho y 25. So this is where your lesson on numbers comes in handy from earlier in the book. Now, if you want to say it's 11:30, you would say son las 11:30. Another thing you have to learn is that sometimes Spanish speakers will use the words cuarto or media. So whenever it is 15 past the hour, you might hear someone refer to that as something like son las 3:15, 3:15. Or if it's a half an hour past, you would say son las 11:30. It's 11 and a half an hour. So just two phrases that would be helpful for you to recognize if someone refers to time in that way. Now, if it is 20 till 3, so anything after the 30 mark, so like 20 till 3, you would say son las 3 menos 20, which literally means it is 3 o'clock minus 20. So 2:40 is 3 o'clock minus 20 minutes. If it's 8:45, you would hear it as it's 15 till 9, son las 9 menos 15, or son las 9 menos cuarto, like we learned in the last side, because cuarto means 15 minutes. If it's 9:50, 10 until 10, you would hear son las 10 menos 10. Now, when you're talking about different times of the day, you're going to use the word day, which makes it easy to remember. So times of day, use de. De la mañana. Son las 9 de la mañana. So if you're referring to 9 a.m., most of the time in conversation, a Spanish speaker would not say 9 a.m. They might, but for the most part, they would say Son las 9 de la mañana. If it's in the afternoon, you would use de la tarde. Son las 3 de la tarde. If it's in the evening or at night, you would use the phrase de la noche. Son las 6 de la noche. So if no specific hour is mentioned, instead of using the word de, you're going to use the word por. Trabajo por la mañana. I work in the morning. So it's not specific at all. We don't know what time you're working. Just in the morning is por la mañana. Trabajo por la tarde. I work in the afternoon. Trabajo por la noche. I work in the evening. En punto. Son las 3 en punto. Means it's 3 o'clock on the dot. So this is a cognate that is helpful to think of. If you think of the word punctual, in Spanish that is puntual. So it should help you remember that en punto means on the dot.